I hold live masterclasses where I answer questions from women on the motherhood journey and post clips on this YouTube channel. Click the link in the description below to join my email list to find out when they are. Today's question is there anything I can do to get my husband, who has some sperm issues such as low sperm count, motility, or morphology, more involved in the process, such as limiting alcohol, going to the doctor, taking supplements, eating better, and making other lifestyle changes? So at the heart of this question, it is about how to regain control. You're probably looking around you and you're seeing women getting pregnant all the time, or your perception is that they're getting pregnant very easily. And so you're feeling left out and you're feeling like, how can you control the process better so that you can get to your goal? And so you feel out of control so that you want to micromanage the elements of the equation that you know are a factor, such as your husband. You can't do that. You can only control your response to other people and to the situations that you're presented with. For many of you, you have to release the illusion of control and your need to make everything picture perfect. This journey is not about perfection. Life is messy. Let it be messy. The motherhood journey is a test of your ability to be fully in the present moment, to accept what is, and however much of a challenge it may be for you, to move past it so that you don't keep recreating what you have currently. Your husband is a full-grown adult and makes his own decisions. You know that. You have to respect him and not suffocate him with your desires. You're not his mother, and if you shift into this role of being his mother, you will resent him in time. As a couple, you are working towards a common goal of having a harmonious relationship that grows and expands as you do, so that you can support each other in your dreams. And that includes respecting each other's wishes, which may differ or in some cases conflict. You can present him with information, studies and articles and whatnot, and you can request that he makes changes. But if he chooses not to, you have to honor that. Otherwise, it can create too much friction in your relationship, destabilizing the entire foundation that you need to have in order to make this work. You have to keep your relationship with your partner strong throughout this entire process. When it cracks, your dream, when it cracks, the possibility of your dream manifesting goes down with it. So you have to keep your relationship strong. And if that means to honor his decisions, even if they differ or conflict with yours, you're going to have to accept that. Often, a woman can lead by example. And I've seen this with a lot of clients where they influence their partners because they make the changes first within themselves, and then their partners see the changes with them, like they start losing weight, they become more active, they have more energy, they sleep better. And so in making the changes within themselves first, their partner actually then starts to also make the changes. And that's really the best way to influence your partners, not by demanding it of them, but by leading by example. And this is really the way that I would recommend for you to move forward in terms of having him to make healthier lifestyle choices. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't, then you have to be okay with that. You take your attention off of him and you work on yourself, because I promise you there's plenty to work with on that aspect. You really want to create such a strong self-concept that you can hold your vision so firmly that it doesn't matter what your husband does or doesn't do. Obviously, having a baby requires the cooperation of your partner, but it starts and ends with you. As long as he's not actively fighting against having a baby, you're cool, you're fine. You have the sperm you have access to, don't worry about him, worry about yourself. Become a magnet to your dreams so that you can magnetize that one healthy egg and that one healthy sperm. It doesn't matter how many duds of eggs there are, how many duds of sperm there are, you're just attracting that one, and getting them together. If you can hold your vision steady without the wobbles, it will eventually materialize into the physical plane so that you can experience your baby with your 5 senses and not just in spirit, okay? But you have to hold it steady and disregard what other people do, including your partner. This is why life becomes magical when you really move out of trying to control people in situations that you really have no control over. You allow the infinite universe to flow through you, and in doing that, it'll bring you everything that you want in ways that are so much better than you can even imagine. So you want to surrender to the process and just allow them to be who they are. You focus on yourself and do your own thing. Make sure you're stable, make sure you're centered, and make sure you're aligned to your vision and to your dream. And you stay that way, that you don't have these energy dips, right? These wobbles all over the place. You want to make sure that you stay very, very steady. Okay. Any questions about that? Let me read Susanna's question. Hold on for a sec. Testing my partner's. I have a question regarding testing my partner's sperm. Last test revealed lower side count and higher DNA fragmentation. Now we are about to retest again, and I am finding myself being worried and will result. And I find myself being worried about what the results will be like, thinking and researching constantly what is the best abstinence interval, etc. I'm not normally like this around tests. I believe in testing as it gives me peace of mind, but my fertility journey seems to get the best, but also the worst out of me. How can I manage my fear, anxiety about his results, as I have feelings that life is giving me too much to handle, my fertility stuff and male factor on top of it? Okay, so this goes back to the control. You're trying to control it way too much. I understand that you are going to have concerns when there's lower count and higher fragmentation. But again, this work, the reason why you're following me and implementing what I'm teaching is to look at it from a different viewpoint. You need to move yourself out of the 3D aspect. And by 3D, it means like the tests and like the stuff that you can see and hear, the blood values. You've got to move past that, because if you stay stuck in, if you stay mired in that, however much you think it's a value to you, you're not going to be able to out-worry yourself into the vision of what you want. And so you can, if you're going to do testing, you have to do the testing from a viewpoint of, this is just information for me to know. And for this person, having the testing makes her feel more at ease. That's fine. I generally don't recommend doing DNA fragmentation and stuff like that. And so it's just too much information. What are you going to do with that information? If you're not going to be able to make any significant improvement in the DNA fragmentation, then it's just a cause of worry. So as I said, you can have the male makes millions of sperm in each ejaculate. You cannot tell me that there's not one single sperm out of those millions, out of one single ejaculate, that could be viable, right? You're not going for quantity, you're going for quality. And you do the work, and I just said this, you do the work yourself, so you magnetize that one healthy egg, that one healthy sperm. And the way you magnetize is in who you are and your belief and your knowing about yourself. It is not going to be in the doubt. And so, because the more that you are in the doubt, the more you're going to get caught up in the numbers. You're not going to be able to rise above, to transcend above those numbers. You have to be able to transcend that. That's why I do very minimal testing. Unless you can do something about it with the results, there's no reason to get the tests. And so, and that's something that I feel really strongly about, because people get way too involved with the details of their blood tests and the diagnosis. And the importance of them is however much you put onto it. It can have no meaning whatsoever to your outcome. You can just regard it as information, black and on piece of paper, black and white. But if you absorb it and it becomes part of the story that you're telling about your motherhood journey, then it's going to create a significant impact to the point where it'll completely block you. That's why a lot of times it's just better not to know. And I understand you're trying to find answers, and I get that, as to why it's taking so long. The problem with, this was what it was, because I was having this conversation with a client, is what if there's nothing wrong? And that's the case with many of you. There's really nothing wrong. What is flawed in terms of how you're going about it is that when you're looking, by doing these tests, you're looking for something wrong. Something's going to come up. And then you're just going to hook onto that. And then in hooking onto that, you're not going to do the work about yourself, because now you've identified, well, this is the reason why I'm not getting pregnant. And you basically absolve yourself from the responsibility of doing the internal work, of staying true to your vision, because that's really where the internal work is. That's why I kind of have an issue with doing testing after testing after testing, is you're basically just, people are basically distracting themselves from the real work, because they want to find answers external to them, outside of them. And they're not going to get anywhere. I promise you're not going to get anywhere with that type of stuff. Oh, that's so true. When I did a transfer and didn't know the grade, it went much smoother and stuck when I knew the grade. Yeah, totally. I don't even listen to, like, my mind turns off when people tell me what their embryo grade quality is. I don't care. There have been so many instances when they've been beautiful embryos and they don't implant. And then there have been so many instances when they're like, what? Like, we'll just throw it in there just because we have the embryo and they worked. So it's just, you don't need to, don't ask for information that you can't do anything with, is basically what I'm trying to say. Okay. Yeah, control. It's a control issue. Okay, so the thing is, for many of you, you feel out of control of this process, right? Totally understandable. The way that you get back into control is turn it back on yourself. What do I need to work on within myself? How do I create that stability, that centeredness? Because you can do that regardless of what the situation is. I don't care if you're in a war zone. You can do that. You can create that center and stability. When you come with that and you walk through your life with that, it doesn't matter what the external circumstances are. You can create whatever you want. Okay. All right, let me, oh. If you like this content, like, subscribe, and share this video. I'm here to help women over 35 and into their 40s manifest the healthy baby they dream of. This is Julie Chang, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.